Hi there. I've recently set up a small indoor cycling studio, a little mini studio to train in over the winter, and I just thought people might be vaguely interested in what I've set up, so I thought I'd produce a little bit of a guide. I'm planning to use ErgVideos a great deal in the mini studio. It's a brilliant tool. And this is just a sort of a general look around. It's just a partitioned off garage, so it's a very, very small area. A small desk with a PC that controls all the cycle training equipment. A few pictures on the wall which I got free with the Tour de France guides. Some of the old stuff there, they're really quite nice. And it's Eddie Merckx arriving at the summit of the Col du Tourmalet. Louison Bobet, you'll recognise the Mont Ventoux many years ago. This is a power tap hub which I'm using on one of my CompuTrainers just to not calibrate but to cross-check the power numbers that the CompuTrainers are producing, so that the two CompuTrainers that I'm using I know are matched, so that people are getting the same experience. Just one of the CompuTrainer Pros. I have a Pro unit and a Lab unit, and they both compare very, very closely. There's no real difference in them at all. It's the VELOtron, the scene of many hours of torture. Very, very accurate power data on that, which I use quite a bit for testing, as well as the CompuTrainers. This is just a closer view of the section that generates the load that you pedal against. Doesn't require any calibration at all. This is one of the CompuTrainer control units, the handlebar controller. Plus and minus allow the rider to adjust various parameters during the ride as they go. A bailout really. This is the power tap little yellow CPU people will be familiar with, that I use to record power data off the power tap when I'm just checking the CompuTrainers. This is the handlebar controller for the VELOtron, slightly different because it's got the telemetric heart rate receiver built into it, so you don't need the additional unit plugged in. The all-important high capacity fans. I've got one facing each rider, and then there's an air conditioning unit, a small air conditioning unit at the back of the room, which takes all the heat out of the room. This is something I'm just experimenting really. It's a Moxie muscle oxygen saturation monitor, which sends data about the oxygen levels in working muscles, and I'm just evaluating that at the moment. It's very, very interesting. A lot of people will be familiar with this, the ErgVideo lactate pro meter. I don't do many conventional lactate tests now. I tend to use it more for evaluating efficiency in terms of carbohydrate usage. I've found it very, very useful for that. These are the USB to serial connections. They're all have the FTDI chipset in them, which is so important when you're setting these things up, so that the PC and talks to the CompuTrainers and the VELOtron properly. You get far less errors with FTDI converters. Just a general view. It's quite dark in there at the moment, so I've just got a table lamp on. But you can see the big screen at the front, which I bought second hand. It's really quite a nice little setup. This is a screen many people will have seen. I use PerfPRO Studio as well as ErgVideo, which is very good for specific targeted training sessions for two riders. This is the screen you get when you're setting up an ErgVideo ride. It doesn't normally flicker. This is just because I'm recording a TV screen. It's nothing to do with ErgVideo at all. It allows you to tailor ErgVideo sessions very carefully. And then this is the actual ErgVideo ride screen. Not actually riding it, I just played a little bit of the video so that people could see, but there's a lot better demonstrations of the quality of these videos on the ErgVideo website itself. This is a how to cam ride, which is a hard ErgVideo, but it's a brilliant system for riding. I can ride with 3 riders can ride together in my little setup using ErgVideo, and it's fantastic for sort of setting the sort of levels and things that you want to train at, and being very, very targeted about your fitness gains. Little PC which acts as a slave, so that anybody who's in the room can actually watch what's going on the little computer monitor. And that's just a general scene as things would be during a session. You can't see the screen obviously very well from this distance, but you get a very good view of it during an actual session. So that's my little setup in part of a single garage. It's quite surprising what you can squeeze in, really. So most of the stuff will be based on ErgVideo, but with heavy use of PerfPRO Studio as well. And I'm really quite pleased with how it's all turned out.